Hello everyone, Windle here, and welcome back to the final episode of this campaign. Now at this point, you guys know what's going on, so I don't need to worry about recapping too much, but today I want to finish the campaign by taking the Southlands and eliminating the forces of Hag Grief. So we're going to continue this episode until we're done. But with that said, let's actually just get started with things, shall we? Now, we left things last time with two major areas that we were going to conquest straight off the bat, wasn't it? If we head down here, first of all, we've got... Is it Jaffar over here in Scraghole? Let me just double check. Thank you, game. Yeah, Jaffar's there, which means Alabas is the one here. Right. Now, we're within marching range of the caverns of Sotek, but we can't see what's there. So if I just move Alabas up to the border here, we'll be able to see what they've got. And if I didn't say in the last episode, that looks really cool. I like the colouring for the griffin that he's got. Especially you can see the little the texture at the back there. That looks really interesting, like a turtle shell almost. Really, really cool. Anyway, okay, they've got 3 armies. What is in these armies? Okay, nothing to worry about. A 20 stack. And 1 commander. And they've got a black arc somewhere. Can we see it? No. Right. Can Jaffar get over there? Nearly. I mean, I don't know if that would quite get within range. But he can force march it. Okay. Alright, Alabas is the only other commander we've got with lightning strike apart from Jaffar himself. So, let's get you to attack the small army outside. See what the balance bar is like. And if we can bring in Jaffar and his reinforcements, we'll do exactly that. Okay, so it would be a bit of a tough fight. They've got quite a few units, including a Black Dragon and a War Hydra. Okay. Right, what we'll do, we'll call it Lightning Strike in to kill off this tiny little army. Now, decisive victory. As expected, we only lost 3 men in that fight. Okay, got a bit of thing. We'll get them replenished by 11%. Just to get those people back. Okay, let's push this one off. Right. Thank you, Lords of Adruki. Okay. Let's now get Alabas to lay siege to the caverns. What we're going to do now is by him basically encircling the area, we can now move Jaffar in using... In fact, can we do it normally? I don't know if we can. I'll tell you what, we'll move him up to here. It saves us having to worry then about using Force March and potentially, having a debuff from being tired. Not that I think having 2 powerful stacks like ours is going to be any issue. Fine, let's have a look. Oh no, definitely not. Okay, let's do that. We took a few casualties, but nothing major. That's fine. Got a nice bit of gold from it too. Excellent. Alright, let's do that. And we managed to secure now the jungles of the gods. Great news. Right, okay, that's it. So you've moved there. Let's get Jaffar over to here. So next turn, he can go after the Temple Avenue of Gold. All we need to do is secure this place and Teotihuacan, and then we've secured the mainland from the Druki. All we need to do then is go over to the islands, take it from them here, and we do have the Fortress of Dawn over here, but if you remember, I've got my ally, the Greybeard Prospectors, going after them. If they're having difficulty, then we'll help them out, but for the moment, I think we should be fine. So, with that, Jaffar's now moved, Alabas has now moved. Right, this is the Chaos Army that we're putting together at the moment. Our first target for these guys, once we finish recruiting our monster, our Kamar, is to go after the Nehekaran blood cults that burnt down Kemrians and currently at the moment at Numas. So that's definitely something we want to try and do at some point. We do have our Wood Elf allies here going after them, but that's something we'll have to deal with later and see if they will do it. In the meantime then, Yassin al-Darwish. Right, we set him up an ambush so the last defenders don't know we're coming. Now it looks like this is going to be a much easier fight. You've got 9. You've got 1. What's the garrison like here? Tiny. Okay. Let's see. If we get you to go after the ancient Quoxagor out here, Wakatazan, That will pull out the garrison and the army stationed inside. And we'll see what this is going to look like. An easy fight. Okay, we'll take that then. It took a few casualties, but because we eliminated the reinforcement garrison, it means now we'll execute the captives. We can just march in and take the place. Alright, skip through all of those. Okay. Ooh, 17,000. Nah, we'll occupy it. There we go. Alright, I think that's all the armies now. No, we got Reza. Okay. I'm going to keep Reza here, and I do need to try and recruit 2 more units. We can't really get any more regiments of renown, so what can we get from here? I mean, I suppose we can get these guys, Camel Lancers, or the ones with Giselles. And we got those. I don't know yet. Let's have a quick look back at the temple. Okay, so we do have access to that. Right. We've got 2 building slots. What I'm thinking is we could go for that. Let's take advantage of the fact that we are somewhere local. We could go up this tech tree in order to get our hands on the monsters. So we'll go for that. And for you, I'm thinking we'll go for the Sorcerer's Savai, so we get our hands on genies and commands as well. Be handy to reinforce our monster army, you know? Alright, with that now, let's have a quick look what else we can get. You can have that. Basically, at this point, we've just got so much money. I'm really not concerned about what to get, but we'll get rid of that. Made the mistake last time of building that instead of the fields. Is there anything else that we need building, though? Not really. We'll go for the exotic animal tamer. Right, you can have that, sure. That's all done. Alright, Sudenberg we still can't do anything with. The Wizard Caliph's Palace. We could get a landmark building here, can we? Yes, we can. The Mystical Palace of the Wizard Caliph. That will give us a few faction right bonuses, so I'll take that. For here... oh, I don't know. We're making a ton of money, and I would like to continue with that. We could go for this one. That will give us 8% income everywhere. Or we can go for that. Although, hang on. What does that give me again? 8. Let's go for both. Screw it, why not? We'll build that now. And then we'll get the slave traders going then. We'll get that built as well. Okay, that can be built. That's done already. Right. In fact, what we could do... I'm going to have him... no, I won't do it yet. I want to get rid of this army first, but we could get a commander here. In fact, we can do that over here. If we go down to Temple of Skulls, I want to start moving Yassine back. So what we'll do is recruit a new lord. We'll get this guy. Doesn't cost me anything to recruit. And we'll head straight up towards the Cursed Jungle. Now, bearing in mind, the only faction really that would have been around here, Skaven-wise, would have been the Clan Moors. And I think they've been defeated already. So there's no point me worrying too much about them. I think it will be pretty safe for us just to send a commander up there. As for you, Baba... yeah, I'm going to send you across the sea. I want to check out the 3 settlements here and see what we're dealing with. Like, this is their capital, the Tower of the Sun. But they have managed to secure, of course, the whole province, so it'd be good to know what we're actually dealing with over here. Then we'll quickly do these. My points. We've probably got a few points to spend, so I'm just going to skip past these guys, and I'll catch up with you in just a moment. You poor fool you. So, instead of just going to the next turn, I actually skipped another turn, and we're doing the end turn phase. Where I've managed to take the Temple Avenue of Gold, or whatever the settlement was next along the coast, with Jaffar. And I set up Alabas as an ambush, just in case someone came to attack. And it looks like Malus Darkblade took command of the army at Teotihuacan and came to attack us. Luckily though, he failed to spot my ambush, so I'm just going to auto-resolve him out of existence. And there we go, he's been defeated yet again by us. We barely lost any men, made a ton of money, and I'm going to take the slaves. Why not? Now, as we go through the last of this end turn phase, something I actually forgot to do and talk about earlier is, at the same time this video comes out, you'll see on the community tab of the channel a poll for the next series. Now, I'm going to be focusing mainly in the options for Wood Elf campaigns, so you can check them out to see which ones might catch you fancying at. And I am leaving it open for possibly other campaigns, maybe with the Skaven, or even just doing a different campaign entirely. But I personally would love to go and revisit the Wood Elves and do a campaign with them, even if it's not quite the same as what we did before with trying to get revenge for the death of Alisara. Although the fact that we can get Ariel now as a legendary hero seems really, really cool. I mean, that could be quite fitting if we try to revisit that idea for the campaign, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Now, who's this? The Red Horn tribe want to join our war against the Last Defenders. You know what? Sure. I did notice that the Last Defenders actually burnt down one of the islands, this one over here. The Temple of the Sun, is it? No, the Stars. And so they have no settlements. They've burned down a settlement, and they haven't decided to colonize it, so they're still taking attrition right now. When we eventually turn up to kick their butts, it's going to be an easy fight. Oh wow, Val's Anvil's been burnt down as well. Huh, fair enough. Alright, we'll skip through the rest of this bit. Oh, hello. The Nehekaran Blood Cults want a peace treaty and they're going to give me 1,000 gold? I mean, I'm not fussed about the money, but the fact that they're willing to pay me for a peace treaty means I don't have to deal with them. In fact, let's have a look. Moderate chance. Can I? Okay, so we can't obviously go for trade agreements, but we could get a non-aggression pact. And see about them paying me a little bit as well as... In fact, I'll tell you what, join my war against the forces of Hagrief. No? Okay, it was worth a try. In that case, you can pay me a bit of reprimands for burning down Kemri, because you are an absolute bastard for doing so. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Never mind, looks like we're going to have to kill them anyway. Although... Piracy. Damn it. It just occurred to me though, that since we managed to open negotiations with them now, can we go and do it again? No, they haven't come up. Interesting. Might be because of the combination of mods. Huh. But anyway. Next target now. Teotihuacan is exposed and weak. I think Alabas should have the honour of going after this, and we'll bring in the other armies as reinforcements if needed. So we'll bring Teotihuacan to our control. Never mind, we won't need any of our armies, we'll just send in these guys. There we go, decisive victory, thank you very much. And we now own the shifty mangrove coastline. Any more? Oh, Jesus Christ. How many prisoners do they have inside the settlements? Look at all those followers. Mad. Absolute mad. Right, absolutely mad. I should say, not absolute mad. That don't make any sense, does it? Anyway, the most important thing is now we have secured the coast. Now we could just leave it here, but we've got an enemy who's going to be potentially raiding us in the future. And let's be honest, are we going to let them do that? No. Now we can't see anyone over here at the Tower of the Sun, so let's go over to Tor Lazor. Okay, looks like this is where the heretics are lurking. We've got a 20 stack, including a dragon, okay, and Harganeth executioners, right, and this army. Okay, what's the garrison like? Garrison's pretty weak. Okay, so what I'm tempted to do is Krokgar's leading this army. We don't know what he's got, but since we've pretty much cleared things up here now, I'm going to start moving the forces down. We may skip forward a couple of turns while they get in position, because you guys don't necessarily need to see that, do you? But we'll put Yaz in here. If I grab Reza now what I've done with him, I've actually recruited some ogres for the moment, because it's going to take a little while for our other buildings to be done, if the game lets me go back. So like, for example, we've managed to get our hands on knights, but the next tech will give us access then to elephants, and then the next one will give us all the cool ones. That's going to take a little while, and hopefully we get the campaign finished by then. But you can head there. Reza can come in and join him as reinforcements. Alright, Barbar can stay there. Alabas can stay there. Do I want... Hang on a second. Oh, I was hoping I can see how far they can move. I'll tell you what, we'll keep Jaffar in normal stance. We'll bring him over here. That way then he can come and join the Alabas's army in the next turn. We can sail down together, take to Al-Azhar, head over to the Tower of the Sun, and that should be done. Alright, you can stay there and replenish. You, good sir, can continue on your journey over towards here. Now, my Wood Elf allies, unfortunately, I just saw standing around right now. What I might do, because I did recruit this guy specifically for this, and I just realised I did do something else that I... Damn dirty... Hang on a second. Alright, one at a time. First of all, colonise Kemri. Rebuild. Right. You can now go. We don't need you. Right. Over here now. I recruited this character because he was going to replace my Chaos Army. I thought having the Wizard Caliph Apprentice ability would have been pretty cool. Unfortunately, I ended up choosing him so he went for the Hardened by the Desert. I forgot about it and instead of giving him magic. But this should hopefully boost up the magic user that's with the Chaos Army. The only problem is, the reason why I had to recruit him separately, rather than just replace the commander, is because we've got the tech that allows me to add 3 levels to his rank. But, for some reason, replacing a character only doesn't work. It doesn't provide it. So I recruited him separately, so I can do this, basically. Right. You have now got your army. You can now disband, and give me some more money back. Right. You can go up to here now. Settle. Okay, you can start rebuilding and you can go. And just like that, we managed to make 3,000 back. That's, 15% penalty because of supply lines now. Really adds up if you're not prepared. I mean, just by removing 3 commanders, our money boosted up by nearly 10,000 gold. I mean, that's silly. Right, let's have a quick look. Anything else we kind of want to buy? We could start going for that one. At this point, it's really not worth it. But I did always intend for the Black Pyramid to be a recruitment zone. So that's exactly what I'm going to keep it as. We can't actually do anything more because we've spent all our money now. Wow. Okay, must remember to get a magic lantern in the following turn. Alright, Alabas. Have you got immortality yet? No, you're 17 away. Okay, I'm going to keep you with the Griffin. I'm going to let you get Rally. And let's go... Royal Decree. That should boost up my warriors quite nicely. Alright, you, Mustafa, have now got immortality. I don't know what to give you, actually. Let's continue with Runemaker, I guess. Alright, Assem. Now, I've given him a camel Giselle, so now he has the Alcabas as well as being able to ride around on a camel. Thought that'd be pretty cool. But he can have that, and do we have anything that's going to increase damage from shooting? No, but we could make you a little faster. We'll do that. I mean, camels are not exactly the fastest creatures in the world, are they? Okay, Assem. Could give you a warhorse, but I'd rather wait for the moment. Okay, let's give you 2 more points here. The reason being, I would like to try and get Beastmaster so we can improve our, our monsters. But for the moment, we just have to make 2. Right, you've done all that. Let's give you now... Magic Wizards can be handy, but I'm going to give you the Comet of Casadora. Right, you can have that. You can have that. Command available. There we go. You can have that. Christ, what else is there left to do? Jesus Christ. Okay, can I end it now? Thank you. Well, I have to say this is a little disappointing. Now, Krogar's come out of the Tower of the Stars to come and attack us, and the balance bar is massively in my favour, basically. I don't really feel comfortable with fighting this. I kind of want to, though, because we haven't really fought the Lizard Men much in the campaign, and the fact that he's got an army completely full of monsters, and he himself is level 34, kind of makes me want to, though. You know what? It's Krogar at the end of the day. I feel that it's only right we should give him a final battle before we wipe out his faction. So let's fight the battle. Welcome everyone to the battlefield. Now I had to say, going into this battle, I was quite excited to see how it would go, because as you saw in the army composition before we loaded up to the battle, the enemy's army has a lot of monstrous creatures, very similar to our force led by Reza Azem. So, given how well we fought with him in the previous couple of fights, I was looking forward to seeing how we would do against a similar army. But while the main army is deployed over here, we've actually set up a skirmish force of camel riders with Giselles, which already start things off early by going after this unit of source warriors and a feral stegodon coming at them. While they're doing that then, we actually had my Burning Skull getting sent right through the enemy's ranks, just doing a bit of damage here and there. The Burning Skull is not as effective against single characters as it is against large units. So we saw it managed to do a bit of damage against the Saurus regiment right here, but most of them, in fact all of them, have just stood back up again after having a giant fireball run straight over them. But as they are getting closer now, we can see that my Giselles are starting to fire down from the top of the hill, as well as the trebuchets, basically, the manganiques. And this was quite interesting though. An enemy unit of feral cold ones end up spawning right on top of my unit here of Arabian Guard, and all that's happened is they just turned up, lost most of their health and ran off. They'll be back again, don't you worry, we will see them in just a moment, but it was funny to watch when it happened. Now, as the enemy are getting closer, what I've decided to do is focus my Giselles on going after the pterodons over here, mainly because I didn't want these guys dropping rocks on my units, but simply as well because they will be an irritation to my other units if we let them. So I decided to focus all my gunfire on them. As the enemy got close as well, we end up using my Sepalis over to the flanks. We see a couple of my Royal Sepalis here. These guys looking really good in their nice gold armor here. Very, very cool. Take a couple of bowlers and that. In fact, you can see them getting dropped down here a bit here and there. But it's not going to make any difference to them. We just go straight on past. And that unit's going to retreat any second. Now, as they say that though, the enemy is now starting to get to my front line. We've got lots of source warriors and monsters to deal with. And some of these, I mean, they look really cool when they're about to charge in. I mean, look at this now with Krogar. Look, it was a bit lackluster. That one made up for it. But my troops are going to do extremely well, because while the fight is looking pretty vicious, you can see my units and people getting flung, you know, meters or feet away from the battlefield. And then next minute they just get back up again and continue. That makes me laugh. But the battle is continuing to go along all the way here. We're trying to cast spells here and there in order to help stuff out when needed. But it's really a straightforward fight. My troops are so much better than theirs. You can see that on the balance bar at the top here. And it's just a case of, you know, waiting for them to die. Now, we did have a slight issue over here, though, when the Source Warriors that went after my Camel Riders was pretty much knocked down and started retreating. But the other one ended up skirmishing back to the edge of the battlefield, which meant the Stegodon was able to catch up. And I didn't notice for a little while that this was actually happening. Eventually, we get them to move away from the Stegodon in order to try and help out on the front. But it's an annoying situation to have to deal with. But things are going much better on the battle line itself, particularly on the left flank. Our Carnosaur has managed to start routing. It's very low in health, so we'll be seeing it dead any second. And what I realised at this point is that we could use our skirmishing units much more effectively. You just saw there the Giselle unit, for example, killing off that Carnosaur while it was retreating, meaning then that the Arabian Guard unit that was chasing after them could actually pull back in order to help out against the two feral Bastardons, who are currently rampaging in my front line. Likewise, as we go across the battlefield once more, you can see here and there units are starting to run away, like the Saurus warriors here. We're dealing, unfortunately, with a few rampaging units, which are making things difficult for them to retreat. And Krokgar, of course, is just being a beast. You can see him just flinging my troops away with his attacks. I was really hoping when I originally watched the replay to see if he could do that cool ability of his where you can see him grab someone's head with his Hand of the Gods and just watch it explode. Unfortunately, he didn't do that during the battle. That's really sucked, I must say. But anyway, over on the right flank, things are going much better for us. All the enemy's health is going down, my troops are remaining pretty strong. The cavalry weren't the best unit for this, admittedly, but they were doing okay, and it was allowing me then to just get more damage in. And eventually, though, we've got the advantage in that enemies starting to retreat. At this particular point, every unit is decided to shatter. So really it was just a case of chasing down the survivors and trying to kill as many of them as possible. Now the Serpalas luckily were able to try and do bits and pieces here and there, but really at this point we had killed off all the Saurus warriors. So all we had left is the giant monster ones and Krokgar. Now to try and help things out a bit, you can see, like, if I swing over to here, that my Giselle Riders are still firing away at the Stegodon over there. We've got a similar situation just happening here and there, scattered across the line. I was using the Giselles in particular in order to try and just chase down and kill off any remaining units before they retreat off. Unfortunately, I forgot about these guys. The cavalry was mainly focusing on them, which meant they weren't able to get enough damage in to kill them before they retreated off the map. But some of the other ones, especially like here in the center, you can see that we've got a Bastardon and Krokgar is actually running away right behind it. I got my Giselles in position, we started firing away on the Bastardon in a minute. I decided though, before we let them start shooting, I wanted to have a bit of fun and fire away with my wizard, who's sitting up here right now. There we go, one fireball, getting shot straight down, knocks down about half the health of the Bastardon, and a final volley of ammunition is enough to kill it. The only thing left now to deal with is Krokgar, and unfortunately I'm not going to get enough damage in on him before he retreats off the battlefield, but this was a victory well earned, I think. We lost about 100, well, about 100 and 200 men roughly, and in return we managed to wipe out the entire enemy force, so all in all, a successful fight. At this point then guys, let's go back to the campaign map. So there we have it, a decisive victory. Although I have to admit, I was a little disappointed that Krokgar was on foot. But, one of those things. Anyway, what we're going to do, we are going to execute the captives. He's going to retreat back into the Tower of the Stars. Not that that's going to do much for him. There we go, nice and easy. In fact, I don't see why we need the two armies now in hindsight. Oh well. We did pick up Saurus Smiter as well, interesting. Today the battle was over for Zottel's last defender, but the war rages on. +2 public order and +10 melee defense. That's pretty good, actually. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm actually a little disappointed and kind of happy that I actually fought that battle now. The reason being is the Manblight tribe here, led by Taox, the Brass Bull himself, has not only destroyed the Tower of the Stars, but has also killed off the remnants of Krokgar's army. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad I fought him when I did. But, if we pop for all of these, faction has been destroyed, as you just saw. I kind of want to go and kill him now. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's bring you guys over here first of all. Are you close enough? Not really, but I think we'll be okay. Let's get you... I'm going to declare war. Call my allies in. I want to get rid of these guys. Goodbye. Or not. And we're going to have to chase you down. May have to. Okay. Let's try. I'm going to risk it. We did it. Okay. That was good. I was a little worried for a second then. Luckily, we've got some really good troops at our disposal. Alright, you can come over here now and settle for me. We'll quickly get the replenishment back, plus it means we've got the Tower of the Stars under control. We'll have you guys actually head back down to sea now. We'll have you head towards the Tower of the Sun in order to take that. Let's have a look. You. I'm going to switch you back to normal stance. I'm going to have you chasing after Alba now. It's been interesting. Chaos on chaos. May the best Chaos Army win. Right, Alabas. We've got a Black Ark here. And I did see that big stack. Oh, it's still here. Okay. I thought I saw it sail off. Not that it matters, we're going to kill them anyway. Right. Let's get... Who do we want to lead the assault? I'm actually going to have Jaffar lead it. It's only fitting he goes to attack first. So let's get you over here. If we're lucky, we might even be able to bring Alabas in as reinforcements to the attack too. No, not quite. Not quite. Alright, tell you what I will do then. Let's bring you up. Is there a way we can bring you in as a reinforcement to the army, just in case? That will do. That will do. See if we can actually get him to attack. I can see the little bit of red there that suggests it. We might not be able to, but you never know. Yeah, well, come on. I just need you to get up on here. Damn it. Right. Well, she's going to have an option of either attacking Jaffar's force or Alabas's force. We're both at full strength. While she's got an okay army at her disposal, I think my force should be able to beat them easily. So we'll let that happen. In fact, just to help things out, there we go. You can stay there. You're doing that. You're doing that. You're heading over there. Right. That's everybody now done. Let's quickly now just spend our money. So for example, here we can upgrade that, and upgrade that. That's all done. At this point, really, I know I don't have to do this, but it sort of just appeals to me that I make sure that everything is upgraded as much as possible. So I'll go for that. You can have that. Alright, El Calibad. What am I going to give you now? We'll come back to you. Alright, let's quickly do points. Yassine, you can now have... You've got 4 points to spend. Let's just finish off these. So you can have that one, and I'm thinking Curse of the Midnight Wind. The debuff to melee attack is extremely useful. So you can have that. Blade Shield. In fact, remind me to go back to that guy in just a second. Because I remember doing the fight, he didn't actually have any... Did he have much in the way of items? He's got Sword of the Vengeful God. Okay. Oh, that's why he might have been taking damage. Right, that makes sense. Right, let's give you... Could give you the Enchanted Shield, but I'm not going to give you that instead. You can have Fire Resistance, because why not? Right, what else? Kenway can already be upgraded, sure. We will continue to excavate Cetra's Pyramid. And there we go. Okay, so we have our opportunity to go after the Nehekaran Blood Cults. Now, the Wood Elf allies have actually come in to lead the attack. We will come on as reinforcements if we did. To be honest, though, I just want to make sure we get this done, and I'm not too fussed about fighting them. There we go, close victory. We took a few casualties, nearly lost our aspiring champions, but I can't help but feel that the Wood Elves were sneaky enough to let me take most of the casualties in that fight. I mean, they did lose the Wild Riders, but considering everyone else is at pretty much full health, and then you look at my units, those cheeky buggers, oh, we lost our Kinmar. Crap. Alright, well, they would have enslaved us, so I think it's only fitting we enslave them instead. Right then, back to us. Let's pop through all of these quickly. In fact, where was that one? Because don't forget, I actually declared war on these guys, so if I knew they were around... Right, okay. Now to be a little careful, because down here... that full stack of Dark Elves, I wondered where they got to. They have arrived outside Torsapinda. So I want to make sure we go after them soon. So what I'm thinking, we've got our 2 armies here, and Baba. Let's get Baba first of all to go after these guys. Right. Okay, so you're the one with the Black Dragon and Fel Manticore, okay. Right. Let's get you, Jaffar, to lay siege. I'm going to continue the siege for the moment. I'll get Alabas to come in as reinforcements. Right. Yeah, that'll help. Goodbye. Right. We will dare. And we have. Right. That's now taken. We'll skip through all of these. Okay, if I get Alabas now to basically start force sailing back, we may get the opportunity then to catch up with them before they get too much damage done over there. Now, this is... I was going to say, I'm sure this is my territory. This is the coastal area, the Churning Sea. It says it's shared. Yet, it's not, because it's all belongs to me. That's weird. Anyway, we'll deal with that. Okay, Reza. Let's get you now over towards here. Get you on the boats. Let's see if we can get you to actually just attack these guys before they become too powerful. Any luck? I hate it when that happens. Oh, we haven't landed yet, that's why. Okay. Let's move you here a sec. Okay, attack. There we go, much, much better. Right, again, we could fight this, but I'm just going to auto-resolve. Nice and quick. Nearly lost one of my giants, but we will go ahead and occupy that. And we have now secured all the territory from the forces of Hargreave. Right, once we skip through all of these, all we got left to do really is defeat that last army. The Greybeard Prospectors have destroyed the Fortress of Dawn, so I'm quite happy with that result. What I will finally do though, since they have completed their objective, is I want you to go after these. If we can find some of our Wood Elf allies, you guys can now go after these two. My main army is going to be coming in as well. Jaffar can come in as reinforcements, I don't see why not. Still confused why that's considered... That does say it's controlled, right? That's my territory, yeah. Why is that not counting, I wonder? Not that really matters, but just curious. Right, let's quickly repair these. So you can get built. You can get. And sure, we'll build that as well. Right, Foe Seeker, done. Right, Nassar. Let's give you that. Alright, now that we've eliminated that, you guys did mention about potentially going after Sartosa, but with the end of the campaign now basically in sight, I don't know if I will. I'll stick you there for the minute anyway, and since we do need to recruit a new one, I'll let you guys get a new Kamar. Right, over here we'll go for Golden Age. Over here, let's go... Let's grab that, because we can easily get it done in the next turn. We'll go for that too. You can have that, you can have that. Alright. Can we, if we've got that building built, let's get the gold mines going. Alright, Casabar. We can get the Ivory Palace for the War Elephants. A bit late in the campaign, but better late than never, eh? And because with War Elephants, I'm going to go for the Caravan Stop for this one. You can finish upgrading that, I guess. Right. Final one, Teotihuacan can be upgraded. Baba can have Foe Seeker. Not that he's really been using it too much. Right, you can gain Arcane Conduit, my friend. Mustafa, let's give you Woundmaker still. You, good sir, can have the Comet of Cassandoras again. And there we go. Ooh. This looks like it could be a tough fight. There again, I'm not surprised. We are... What, really? Oh no, we're not going to lose Alabaster's army, are we? Oh, you are kidding me. Right, we're going to fight this battle. I don't want to lose Alabaster and his army. So see you guys down there. Welcome everyone to a very interesting battle, and one that at the beginning I was really concerned about losing. As you would have saw before we started the fight, we had an army which was very much weakened, and because they were sailing at full speed, unfortunately meant that many of them were actually suffering from tiredness. So I was really concerned when we started the fight with how this was going to go, but I decided to try it the best I can to see what we can do. Now, the enemy has decided to deploy mainly their forces down here on the Black Ark and the others over here. I do want to point out as well, this is one of the few times I've actually fought on the Black Ark, and it does look really, really cool. I mean, in the lore, the Black Arks weren't just like big ships, they were actually basically floating islands, right? Used by sails, as you can see up here, as well as monstrous sea creatures and magic in order to keep them afloat and moving. So it's really, really cool actually playing on this, and it's the reason why, even though we're on a ship, it's still rocky terrain and everything else. But anyway, you can see the enemy has deployed with their starting force down here, with reinforcements coming off in the distance. And while my main forces actually tried to stay as far back as possible, I did deploy a couple of units up front. So for example, we've got Qadir Assem right here, the assassin, who's actually sitting on his horseback, his camel, and he's supposed to be armed with a Giselle, but unfortunately in the replay he's not actually holding anything. He still will shoot in a minute, but it's a shame. I was hoping to actually see his gun properly in the replay, but what can you do? But anyway, while he's over there then, we do have sitting over here the flying carpets. I was using them just to be prepared in case we can flank the enemy. But instead, what they end up doing is get into a dueling match with the Cold One chariots coming up on this side. Whereas if we speed things up a little bit now, you can see a situation where Qadir Assem is just firing away by himself. Managed to get a good kill right there against the Cold One Dread Ones. That was really cool. We also got a Comet of Casadora that turned to be a very effective spell in this battle, about to be cast right here. Now I was worried a little bit that we were about to miss the enemy's unit, but as you can see a couple of them changed their direction, and it meant that a lot of them got hit by that first attack. That was really cool. Now this is the part I remember though. I forgot that Dark Shots are really annoying because of the fact that they have armor piercing damage. And the fact that, so when I was getting him away, and I've got all these enemies coming after him. And what I realised I can do then is actually use the, the Shard of Twilight to summon in a unit of Chaos Spawn. Now these guys are unbreakable, so the enemy has to kill every one of them. So while they were here now, you can see how much of the enemy they were holding in position, and there's volleys of magic that's being dropped down by the enemy's Black Ark. Now that was doing a lot more damage to their units than my Chaos Spawn, which was fine by me, and another comment of Casadora made it so we did a lot of damage to them at the expense of a sacrificial unit, as far as I was concerned. But a lot of enemies got killed, and again even more being done by friendly fire from the Black Arks. Over there in the distance, I had an opportunity, as you might have just saw then, to use the magic lantern to summon a Serpent Djinn, to go right across this convoy of reinforcements. We managed to catch quite a few of them, not doing as much damage as I would have liked, but I was quite happy with the result. Now at this point though, going back to where the main advance is coming in, the Chaos Spawn have been killed, but they did the job I wanted them to do. You can see all the bodies that are lying down here right now, and only about maybe 5-10 of them were actually from the Chaos Spawn. Everything else was from the magic onslaught that they faced. And speaking of magic onslaught, we've got another bunch coming down on my Arabian Guard unit here. But thankfully we managed to eliminate so much of the enemy that their first attack with their Dread Knights was not really anything for us to worry about. You can see this unit, it didn't even get into a melee attack before it started to retreat already. So I allowed them just to go off, kill off the survivors as needed, and drive off the rest of them. We've got Ashik Alabas going after the other Dread Knights on his Griffin, and if we slow us down a second, like I said on the campaign map, I love the graphics of this. The rings, for example, the color scheme is really, really cool. I really do like that. If I ever get to use a Griffin in Age of Sigmar at some point, when I start collecting for them, I'm going to be wanting painting something like this. That is just a really cool color. But anyway, we're not here to gaze at them, we're here to kill some Dark Elves. So at this point, I didn't want him getting too far ahead, so I started pulling him back. Despite the enemy's armor-piercing abilities, luckily for me, we're not worried too much. In fact, Cold One chariots don't have armor-piercing. And I never really understood, maybe someone more knowledgeable about the Dark Elves can correct me, but I've never quite understood why in the game they have access to armor-piercing damage for the Dark Shards. Because in the lore, Dark Elves use repeater bolt crossbows. So they're smaller crossbows that can shoot multiple bolts, and yeah, they're effective because they are shooting loads of bolts at the same, one after the other. But if I remember right, they're supposed to make up for it by not being as deadly as a typical crossbow. So it's funny that a hand crossbow can get armor-piercing damage, these smaller repeater crossbows can, and a proper crossbow like the dwarves that use aren't armor-piercing. That was something I had to wrap my head around playing this Warhammer 2. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyway, getting sidetracked a bit. At this point now, we're just trying to wait for the rest of the enemy's onslaught to come. We've killed off a lot of the enemies coming in already, but the survivors from that initial attack have made their way to join up over here too. But that's okay, because I've decided to copy the tactic I just done before, and put a unit of Chaos Spawn right in the middle of this enemy blob, coming straight at my forces. So here comes the Chaos Spawn, just charging straight in. We've got a Comet about to land right on top of them as well. So while they're not going to kill many of them, we're also going to again get the same results. A Comet falling down, doing a lot of damage, and followed up then by just an onslaught of enemy magic from the Black Ark, coming down, attacking my units a bit, but also doing a ton of damage to the enemy as well. So quite happy with that result. It did mean though I had to make sure my Nomad here, SM, gets pulled back. It's getting shot at by the... Excuse me. The Sisters of Slaughter are actually firing away at, getting fired upon by my Nomads, which is great news. They do catch up, but between the arrow fire and his own fighting abilities, he's going to be able to deal with those easily enough. Now, unfortunately we now have to deal with the enemy's murderous prowess. They've killed enough of my troops, and the battle's gone on long enough that they get that bonus to their combat abilities, which is going to make them a bit more deadly, but nothing that we can't really deal with, if I'm being honest. As they do get closer though, it's time for me to start pushing forward. My Arabian Guard are much better than all their troops in a one-on-one fight, but I want to make sure that we can try and get after them as much as we can. So, the Arabian Guard are going after the Corsairs that make up most of the enemy's reinforcements. A couple units here and there, again stuff like the Kamar coming in to attack the Sisters of Slaughter and the other Corsairs around here, doing a nice bit of damage there. Over here, I sent in my dervishes in order to go after the Sisters of Slaughter and Corsairs that made it to near my archer line. Now these guys with their double swords tonight are just going to be able to slaughter a lot of the enemy's forces, and we don't have to worry about them. And the Arabian Guard here are handling things quite nicely, supplemented by a wind blast from my wizard. Now over on this side though, we've got units just chasing down everyone here and there. We've got the Behemoth Scorpion having some fun against the enemy's Corsairs. You can see these guys have got no chance against him. It's just hammering away with its tail and just jumping on top of them, showing it, well, an agility which I would never have attributed to a scorpion of that size, I can tell you that. In the meantime though, we've got our Arabian Guard still chasing after enemies that are starting to retreat here and there. We've got Mustafa, our SM. Sorry, Asghar. I'm getting the names mixed up now. But this guy starts chasing after this unit of chariots, unfortunately getting fired by this one. But these guys are, after all, anti-infantry, not actually, large creatures, so I'm not worried about them in the slightest. We brought back the flying carpets just to try and distract this unit of dark shards. Fortunately for me though, the fight's going to go quite well for us, so these guys are going to start retreating, as you can see in just a moment. Very good, because they're just annoying to deal with. Over here now, the enemy is basically getting to the point where we are winning the battle. Even though the balance bar is pretty much 50-50 at the moment. A lot of the enemy forces are starting to either retreat or or have started a retreat already. Especially when we're getting units coming after them like here. I used the Tormentor Sword with our Sheik Alabas to make sure the enemy's units slow down, just enough for all my troops to catch up to them, do the damage they need, and get them to retreat. So we've got, for example, the units of Dark Shards running away here. We do have the Cold One Chariot still hanging around, but luckily for me at this point... Oh my god, what is going on here? I don't know what Mustafa's doing, but... he must have walked in some quicksand or something like that. Anyway, at this point of the battle, the only two things left, if I hover over here, is the two commanders, the two dreadlords. So this one at the moment is fighting the Behemoth Scorpion and is actually losing the fight. The Kamar comes in to try and provide a bit of backup just to get the fight over and done with more quickly. It's hammering away. And I was hoping actually that, given the way the fight was going, that the Behemoth Scorpion would have finished it off. But as you saw, the Kamar was able to get the finishing blow in. Then the final fight over here. We have the last remaining Dreadlord going up against my Mercenary Ogres. My Arabian Ogres, I should say. With the Dervishes coming in as well, just to provide a bit of backup. This guy is heavily outnumbered. There's not much you can do against the horde of enemies that's currently facing him. No, especially when you can see things like the Scorpion coming in to provide backup. So it's just a case now of waiting for him to slowly hammer him down, watching the Scorpion come straight in, and the Kamar as well. Between our Dervishes, our Ogres, the Kamar, and the Scorpion, this guy has got no chance whatsoever. In fact, you can just see right now, any second now, is one final strike, and he's been killed by the Scorpion. Or wounded, as the game says. Now at this point now, the battle is over. Victory is mine. What I'm doing here and there is using units like the Flying Carpets, our Commander and stuff like that, just to chase down the remnants. It's going to be a little difficult because they are fairly fast and my troops are exhausted after all the fighting. I'm still trying to take advantage of things like the Tormentor Sword, for example, with the Sheik, just to make it so he can catch up to units like the Dark Shards here. So as soon as he gets down, he is able to come in, just kill off a few more of them so we don't have to worry about them later. But wasn't able to get as many kills as I would have liked, but it was enough to win the fight, which is the most important thing. So, just if we speed things up a little bit, wait for that last unit to retreat and let the camera jump up, you can see that we've managed to secure a heroic victory, which I was really happy about. But the fight is over, and it's time for us to continue back on the campaign map. Well, that was a tough battle. I enjoyed it immensely, I must say. But it's still a tough battle, and we nearly came close to using Kadir SM here. Although I loved him being on Camelback with that Giselle gun of his. Very, very cool. But anyway, now that we've done that, I'm actually going to get the replenishment, trying to help out a bit. But with that, we've actually managed to eliminate most of the forces on the two Black Arcs. In fact, are they no longer Black Arcs? Because well, I think they should be. I mean, technically they should be. Ooh. That one I'm going to skip over. I'm not thinking it's going to be a good fight for us, especially given what they're facing. So, yeah, sure. They can take that settlement. Or just sack it, apparently. That was a stupid mistake of theirs, bearing in mind that they are taking attrition right now, as you can see. Yeah, I would have taken the settlement if I was in that position myself. No matter, just makes it easier for us when we get over there to kill them. Right then, to continue. So fortunately during that end turn phase, this situation happened where a Beastman army from the, the Man-Blights? Sorry, Redhorn tribe decided to attack Xotl. Unfortunately, the garrison wasn't going to be enough to defend it. So I did auto-resolve and now the settlement's been destroyed. Unfortunate, but Now that we've got our new army to play with, I am going to not worry too much about the Khmer right now. I'm going to instead get these guys force marching down here. So hopefully we can start dealing with the remnants of the Beastman army there. It's going to take a few turns, but that should be fine. Right, Baba, I'm going to get you over here now to start... Excuse me. If I give you a mission, I expect you to follow. I want you to go over here and start assaulting their units. Right. Jaffar. You've got really, really wide reach, haven't you? I'm going to have you go and finish off the transport ships right here. I presume that because we defeated both Dreadlords in the fight, that they no longer count as being Black Arcs. Or whatever they were before. So let's go ahead, we'll take that. Go for this one. Right, nice and easy. I picked up the Shrieking Blades. Continue. Jesus Christ, we picked up a lot of stuff in that one. Right. I'm going to keep him on normal stance, but we're going to start heading towards Torsapinda, finish off this last army, and then that will be the campaign finished, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, you. Let's get you now out of speed ahead. I'm going to have you go after this army here, just to finish it off. There we go. Nice and easy. Alright, what's your movement range? Kind of far. Alright, let's have you finish off attacking them. Alright, who got the kill there? The unit of nomads. Fair enough. I was just curious to see. Alright, but now that we've kicked these... Alright, I'm gonna take the... Do I want him to stay on here? I don't want them to risk this army coming to attack him again, so wiping them out, so I'm going to let them stay where they are. Barbanan, you've moved, you guys moved. You're pretty much back up to full strength. Let's get you guys heading over here as well, just to... In fact, if we get you this way, we can get you heading towards... Excuse me. I want you to head this way. Right. You can head there. Right. Reza, where are you gone? You're here. Right, we'll have you then again heading back to the coastline as well. Alright, so then you're done, you're done. Okay, we've got 52,000 quickly to spend. 37,500 income. Now that is crazy. Right, is there anything I actually need to get at this point? Not really. I'll get myself the garrison there just because. Alright, that we'll need to sort out. Alright, Dawn's Light. Let's get defenses, get that. Gotta repair these just because they might come in handy, you never know. Okay, that can get upgraded. Second that. Okay, El Calibad. To be honest, really haven't got much else I can get for you guys. Alright, I'll tell you what then, let's get... You've already got one of those. Let's get a caravan stop. Just because at this point it might come in handy. And then, I don't know what else we can give you really. Everything else that actually gives money, they've now already got. I'll tell you what, we'll give you a field hospital, just because at this point I need to spend the money on something. Alright, you can have that, you can have that. I still got, oh no, we've actually finished the palace now. Okay. Alright. You can be upgraded. You can be upgraded. I think everybody can be upgraded. Right. Let's get forward a couple of turns now until we're in position to finish off that last Dark Elf army. And then, like I said, I think we can safely bring things to a finish then. So, catch you guys in a minute. Okay then. So, the army that we're chasing after has now been replaced. Well, I say replaced. Their leader has actually been replaced by Malus Darkblade. So we're going to have an opportunity to kill him yet again. We also managed to finish Camel Bard, increasing our armor for our camel units. Thank you, Prospectors. Thank you, Brutal Business. Anyone else? All those lords. Right. Now, how's the defenses here? To be honest, I'm going to do some slight alterations. I'm going to get you guys to head over towards here. It's not that I'm worried about the attrition, it's just the fact that these guys are going to be raided. Okay, let's get you... Excuse me. Get in on here. Thank you. In fact, I'll switch you back to normal stance, just in case. Move you over there. Right. You can now switch back to normal stance too. Get yourselves onto land. Right. Jaffar. Let's see about finishing off Malice Darkblade. For someone we fought multiple times, he's not going to go with a fight, but with a whimper, as we just auto-resolve his ass out of existence. And we're going to take his men into captivity. Perfect. And the forces of Hag Grief have been defeated. Now it's just one more thing I want to do, and that is get rid of that Beastman army that was up here. So I'm going to get things going so we can replenish, get myself back to Xotl. So I'll keep this guy here, just for the minute. I'm going to start sending my forces up there ready to deal with them, so we'll skip forward another couple of turns. Finish them off, retake the place, and then I can quite happily bring the campaign to a finish, with the entire continent under our control. So, see you guys in a bit. Right then guys, I think at this point I can bring this campaign safely to a finish. Now unfortunately we had one slight issue with the cursed jungle being burnt down by Tarox the Brass Bull, and because he keeps hiding in hidden encampments, it means while I may know where he is, I can't see him. So there's not really much I can do about it, and he keeps hiding. But apart from that, really, we have done extremely well. If I zoom out and actually go for ownership, you can see with really the exception of our ruined settlement over here, the Cursed Jungle, as well as the Greybeard Prospector Mountains and the heart of the jungle over here, where Orion's camp is, we have secured the entire continent. Eliminating all our enemies with the exception of a few beastmen that, let's be honest, they're beastmen. They always seem to be around. It's like an infestation. Sometimes it's just difficult to get rid of them. But I'm quite happy with the end of this campaign, and I have to say I have really enjoyed it. The Araby faction was really well done by OVN's Lost Factions Overhaul mod. They were really well done, I must say. And it was just great fun. Araby was a very unique faction in my opinion, with different mechanics. The units were really cool, and I love the fact that we were able to do stuff like create a chaos army. We had enough monstrous units in order to make a monster army and things like that. That was really, really cool, and I'm glad you guys have enjoyed as well, going from your feedback over the course of the series. So I hope you continue to join me as we check out some more Total War in the future, and otherwise everyone, let me just finish as always with thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it, and you join me next time. But otherwise everybody, take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.